Good afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome to the 2023 Southfield State of the City Address. Thank you all for coming out today. We have a lot of great information to share. First, I would like to ask the members of our panel to come on up to the stage. I think I'm taking you away from lunch, though. We have Dr. Tarek So from LTU, Suzanne Hanna, Sustainability Coordinator, City of Southfield, and David Debuque from Contour Companies. So, I want to introduce our team. There's a lot of talk about dysfunction in government, and in the city of Southfield, we don't have that. We have a great team. We get along. We don't agree on everything, but that's healthy. You can applaud that. And if we have disagreements, we tend to keep them in private. So I'd like to start, and if you'd stand, our Council President, Michael Ari Mandelbaum, our Council President Pro Tem, Lenny Taylor, and then Councilpersons Nancy Banks, Daniel Brightwell, Lloyd Cruz, Myron Frazier can't be with us today, and Coretta Hogue, our newest member. And then also we have our City Treasurer, Herb Lowenberg, our City Clerk, Allison Bettis, and my boss, Fred Zorn, City Administrator, and my assistant boss, John McRena, Deputy City Administrator. Now comes the hardest part of this program. It's fraught with danger, and I usually always screw it up. I have a number of other introductions to do, so forgive me in advance if I miss somebody. But this is the list I've been given. So we're going to start with, and you see a lot of blue over there, Police Chief Elvin Barron. Deputy Police Chief Aaron Ugly. Fire Chief Johnny Menifee. Deputy Fire Chief Antonio Macias. And I'm going to introduce Captain Melissa Medellin, who, stand up, Melissa. Melissa has done a great job, especially during COVID, and with the vaccination program and so on and so forth. She's retiring this week. So we want to wish her well in your retirement. Thank you for everything, Melissa. And then we have a couple of other very important people. My go-to partner, City Planner Terry Crode, City Attorney Dawn King, I'm not sure if she's here, our City Assessor, Justin Perbelski. We really have a great team, and that's why so much gets done in the city of Southfield. Then I'd also like to introduce from the 46th District Court, Chief Judge Sheila Johnson, Judge Cynthia Arvant, and Judge Deborah Nance. From Oakland County, we have Oakland County Treasurer Robert Wittenberg. Oakland County Road Commissioner Nancy Quarles. She's a good person to know, especially because I'm always talking about roads. And then we have Elizabeth Crenshaw, who's the Chief of Staff to State Senator Jerry Moss, who could not be with us today. And we have Tony Dunbar, legislative caseworker for Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib. And moving on to our Southfield Board of Education, we have Superintendent Dr. Jennifer Green, Board President Ashanti Gland, Yvette Wall-Duvall, Trustee Leslie Smith-Thomas, Amani Johnson, Darrell Joyce, and new trustees Jillian Holloway and Talisha Belk. Welcome. Now, I hope I didn't forget anybody, but I would like to ask the rest of the city staff that's here today to stand and be acknowledged. Thank you very much for everything you do. I know I'm a pain in the neck to most of you. I'm always bugging. But as you can see, the theme this year is patience and persistence. I complain all the time to the city administrator, government moves so slow, so slowly. But anyhow, we have been patient. We've gotten through COVID, the pandemic, and all of the things that went with it. And the city continues, never stop, but we're on the move with a whole number of things. So I want to start by talking about new developments. We've had these challenges. Competition for new businesses is always a very real thing. Changing workplace, changing retail, financing, and of course, rising interest rates. However, we've got great news. This has been on again, off again. It's on again. Costco is coming to Southfield, and you can applaud that. Yay. Matter of fact, I couldn't find a refrigerator anywhere, and I got a Costco membership last week, and I'm getting a new refrigerator, hopefully Thursday, from Costco. Anyhow, the site is cleared. We're ready to begin construction. I'm told we can use our memberships there in November or December. And this is a unique product. It's not the regular Costco. It's a smaller Costco. It's a business Costco. And it's going to serve small businesses, hotels, restaurants, but anybody can shop there. Another first, this is the first business Costco in Michigan. This is the first Tesla service center in Michigan. It's under construction now. You can applaud that too. On Telegraph, Lower Telegraph. We're always concerned about food options, grocery stores. The New Seoul Market on Northwestern Highway at Telegraph has been very, very successful, a New Seoul Plaza restaurant. And so they're building next door an adaptive reuse in the former Copper Canyon New Seoul Gourmet Market. It'll be more than Asian food, I'm told, but we welcome them to our city. As many of you know, I'm a big believer in adaptive reuse. So the Star AMC Theater has been closed now for some time. It will become the home of Triumph Church. And the Radisson Hotel on Telegraph Road, below the freeway, has a lot of space, and so they're taking the back wing, and it's going to be turned into memory care. There is a need for that, and the central tower and extended stay will continue to be a Radisson, and they have a new restaurant there. We encourage you to do business with them. Enterprise Rent-A-Car, what a success story this has been. They've been here for years. This is their third expansion. They've been on Telegraph, and they keep getting bigger and bigger with each iteration. And so under construction is a new service center at Garner and Telegraph. We've been out, members of the chamber that are here know that we've had a lot of businesses. This is just a partial list of businesses that have opened this year. We're extremely pleased that people continue to find Southfield as a desirable place to start their business. And many of them are small entrepreneurs. One of the things that we're working on is the 9-mile corridor. And this is a very exciting program, and it's a multi-jurisdictional. It goes from Hazel Park, Ferndale, Oak Park, Southfield, Farmington Hills, and it's a pathway. We're developing an interconnectivity for placemaking and recreation, for health and wellness. This pathway will connect I-75 with I-275 and pathways north. We have a grant from Community Foundation of Southeastern Michigan for placemaking in this first phase, which is Greenfield to Lasher. This past fall, a half mile of pathway was installed from Evergreen to Prescott. The next phase will be Prescott to Lasher. The red dots along 9 Mile are places where we're hoping to install public art. And we're very, very excited about this. This is good for business. It's good for the rejuvenation of this corridor. Our Art Commission and Friends of Southfield Public Arts, as well as the City Center Advisory Board, continue to work on placemaking in our city, installing public arts. This butterfly piece will be going on Northwestern Highway near or right outside Eaton Corporation on the southbound new trail or pathway. The Art Commission has begun, besides installing art in the city, has hit on something that has become very, very successful. Every quarter, we have a new exhibit in the lobby, art exhibit, and we're featuring local artists. We have a reception and promote their art, we started small, and now we have a waiting list. The next, and again, you can come and see the art 9 to 5, or actually 7:30 to 5 on weekdays in City Hall, and we will have another display coming up this spring on May 1st. Roads is always something that the council and I get hammered about constantly. And this year, we're doing a lot of work in neighborhoods. So as you can see, with the exception at the bottom of the list of Denzo Drive, all of the work that's scheduled this year will be neighborhood streets. And I know our residents will appreciate it. Some of them, with the asterisk, also include water main replacement. We are also in the process of transforming how we do business at City Hall, and this was with digitization. We're going from all of these files stored in the basement or at off-site. We've already started in human resources and accounting, and building, planning, and public works are next. So one of the questions I get asked constantly, it's people ask me all the time, what is happening at Northland? And so I always say, well, have you driven down Greenfield Road? Because it's very visible. No, I'll have to go by there. We had to overcome a lot of skepticism. We had a vision, and people told us, oh, no one's going to build your vision. Well, we're building that vision with the thanks of Contour Company. It's complicated financing. There was a tangled web of easements, 33 easements, some 900 pages to go through. We've had supply chain issues. They ran out of cement last fall, unbelievable. And of course, environmental issues. So the mall is being saved, the original 1954 mall. This hole is now filled in, but that's where the former J.C. Penney's store was. You may remember 1974, if you're a longtime Northland shopper or were, the mall was enclosed. Well, it's been declosed, or is that how you say it? I'm not sure. Unclosed, whatever. That steel that in this picture will be removed. It's going to be an open campus. And the great thing that I think Contour is doing is, and I know that our sustainability coordinator will appreciate this, they are recycling bricks, steel, aluminum, asphalt, concrete. So even so, much of the original mall, which was built as a bomb shelter, and it's extremely well constructed, remains. There is a lot of recycling going on. So this is Building A that you're looking at. 6 stories with retail on the first floor. Leases have already been set. In the background, you can see the Building B, the foundations and the elevator and stairway towers are in. They're starting to put in the roads. And again, you can see on the left side of the picture the mountain of asphalt that will be reused. One of my passions is housing, and thank you, my friends at Habitat. Of course, this is a challenge too, and we're overcoming that challenge. Higher interest rates, competitiveness for MSHDA tax credit dollars, high material costs, and supply chain issues have plagued us. However, this is a project that is a special project of mine. I believe in adaptive reuse. Here we have the McKinley School. It closed as a Southfield Public School in '73. It was a service center until '83, private school, and then charter school, and then sat vacant for years. It's the only college Gothic structure in the city of Southfield, and it is being saved. Work has begun. Again, patience and persistence. We had to overcome a whole number of things that I won't go into, but down in the lower corner is the demolition of the former portable classrooms that were unbelievably ugly. And we're building 2 family homes, English tutor style to match the McKinley School. With altogether 18 units in the school and 22 new on the former playfield. A new roof is going on, and it's going to be slate. Went over and saw the slate the other day. The school has been gutted. The great thing about McKinley is that the hall walls were not load-bearing walls, so we can push the new units out into the halls away. I'm really, really excited about this. They say that third time is a charm. So we're ready to submit another application, the third one, to MSHDA for the adaptive reuse of John Grace School, 60 units for subsidized senior housing. Our application goes in before April 1st. So everybody keep their fingers crossed. We have a lot of people who are in large single-family homes that really want to downsize, but they love Southfield with good reason. And great city services, good police and fire protection, library, all of that, parks. And so we need some new housing, condos, and this Deerbrook condominium development at 9 Mile and Lasher is underway. We're seeing first floor masters. Again, a lot of our older folks want to get out of the big home. They don't want the yard anymore, but they want to stay here. This is the product for them. Again, more patience and persistence. This is now the Adana, formerly the Atrium Apartments on 9 Mile. This had a fire, very poor stewardship, and Contour Companies has about finished the renovation of this building and done a marvelous job of bringing this back online. And one thing about Contour, when they renovate a building, they don't just put lipstick on something, they do a total renovation.
So sustainability in the city is not a new concept. We've been doing it for many years, but we formally acknowledge these efforts through, I guess, hiring of my position and creating a sustainability action plan. The perfect example I'd like to give of a sustainable project is Red Pole Park. So that trails photo that you see on this slide is Red Pole Park, if you aren't familiar with it. So those poles are a art piece created by donated DTE utility poles, so that's kind of the environmental factor of sustainability. On the social side, we have several nonprofits and groups that host events here, and they provide a sense of community, bringing social awareness to their causes. And finally, on the economic side, we've had hotels purposely locate their buildings adjacent to Red Pole Park, verifying that economic prosperity is on the horizon. So to highlight some newly constructed projects that represent sustainability, we have our ongoing shared use pathways. The mayor highlighted the 9 Mile corridor, which we're really excited about. We also have extensions to our city center trail, which provides the ability for people to use alternative modes of transportation, recreation, and just to really encourage a healthy lifestyle by getting outdoors. Our second project is EV charging stations. So we all know that the big three, all the auto companies are moving towards the trend of creating more and more electric vehicles, and as a city we have to be prepared and have the infrastructure ready for people to utilize those electric vehicles. I know at the city we currently have 2 photographed on this slide, and we hope to implement more in the future. And on the stormwater habitat restoration side, Tamarack Creek Stream and Wetland Habitat Restoration is an award-winning project that was sponsored by the Alliance of the Rouge Communities, the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative, and EPA. So all great projects. So some upcoming sustainability projects on the horizon, and we've talked about this a little bit earlier in the presentation, but the monarch butterfly sculpture sponsored by the Arts Commission will be a lovely addition to Northwestern Highway. And in addition to being an art piece, we hope to implement a pollinator garden to bring awareness to the decline of the monarch butterfly, who's an endangered species, and really promote pollinators and what they do for our ecosystem. The second project that we're excited about is the Valley Woods Trailhead. So this particular project is located along 12 Mile, I believe between Telegraph and Bell Road, but it's a very scenic, woodsy area. We hope to implement some trails and accessibility for residents and non-residents alike. We hope to pursue grant funding to help pay for this project. The last project is a solar bollard new technology. So the LTU Accelerator actually was responsible for connecting us to a PhD student at the University of Michigan working on this technology. We've been selected to be part of a pilot project, initially to install about a dozen of these. They're completely off-grid solar lighting, motion censored, so we hope to analyze areas on our trail system that either have safety concerns or we'd like them to be a little bit more illuminated for people to utilize during darker hours of the day. So we're really excited to see how these perform and potentially install more in the future. So what will our sustainability plan look like? It's a work in progress, but currently we've identified 10 different categories that we hope to address various goals and address a lot of the challenges that the city is facing. So for instance, in the areas of mobility, we want to address accessibility to public transportation, upcoming electric vehicle structures, materials management. We want to enhance our recycling initiatives, and there's so much more. I'm not going to get into all 10, but I'm happy to answer any questions after the presentation. So over the past few months, I've had the privilege of meeting with several local, regional, state, national, and academic members to ask them to be a part of my Sustainability Community Advisory Board. Please know not everybody is mentioned on this slide, so if you're in this room and your logo's not on here, please don't be offended. I just didn't have room. But these wonderful organizations have all given me a lot of feedback regarding those 10 categories on the previous slide, and ultimately we want everybody's knowledge and experience to collectively put a holistic sustainability action plan together. Similarly, we have public education materials that will educate the public, city staff, about what sustainability is, and we're working on revamping our website right now to be able to produce downloadable content, brochures. The hope is for schools and businesses to download this content, share it with students, their employees, and really get the word out about how you can be more sustainable. So why does sustainability matter for this planet? So it's a pretty big question, but the United Nations kind of did the work for us. They've identified 17 sustainable development goals that that encompass the 3 pillars of sustainability. So this is what they feel every region or country needs to have long-term sustainability. And why does it matter for the city of Southfield? So for us, on the environmental side, we want to protect and enhance our green spaces, waterways, and encourage biodiversity. We really want to enhance the quality of life, not just for people, but for all living things. We want to improve our infrastructure by accommodating more green infrastructure measures and having energy efficient measures for new construction homes. On the economic side, we really want resident attraction and retention. So we really have a high number of older adults in the community, and we hope that the younger generations would want to move to the city, grow their families here, and get jobs here with all the amenities that we have. And then on the social side, we want people to stay working at the city of Southfield, so employee satisfaction is huge. We want to build communities and embrace diversity, equity, and inclusion. And that concludes our sustainability updates. Thank you all.
Student scholarship.
Sure, sorry this is actually transformative. This is our largest academic scholarship that we offer to students coming into Northland, amounting to $21,250 per year. And we're very pleased to announce this new partnership where every graduate from any Southfield school, public or private, will be eligible for this scholarship. Yes, please give it a hand.
And one last question. I know you, the son is getting a big honor, so Dan's got to leave town. But can you talk a little bit about the economic impact of LTU on Southfield?
4 minutes, so I'll stop when I have to stop. Let me just back up a little bit. The average academic institution, higher education institution in the US, typically would have an annual economic impact on the region that it exists of roughly twice its budget. I mean, that's the average amongst all of the academic institutions in the country. Meaning of the institution's annual budget is $50 million. The expected economic impact in all categories on the region that exists would be $100 million. So we did an economic impact study roughly 3 years ago when I first came in. And actually we were all stunned, including of course our colleagues and partners in the city. LTU's annual budget is about $100 million, give or take a few every year. Our annual impact at that time was 4 times that much, $400 million on the annual and that was 3 years ago, after the amazing developments within the accelerator, the growth in the enrollment, the significant flow of sponsored research, economic development, and other grants into the institution in the last 3 years, which has been all at record time. We are expecting, and we're conducting one right now, we're expecting that economic impact for 22-23 to be close to $500 million. And basically there are 2 main or 3 main reasons for this. Our students upon graduation stay local, which is very important for the city and for the region, and cannot be said of many other universities in Michigan. Roughly 80% of our students stay within the Metro Detroit region area upon graduation, thanks to the co-ops and internships they do before they graduate. Second reason for this incredibly high economic impact is the starting salaries. Our students start on the average with $67,000 after 4 years, and that number is anywhere usually in any given year between 58 or 59 to 95 or 96, and that's the starting salary. We are blessed, again, our economic contribution to the city of Southfield itself is a very significant percentage of that cumulative number. And we're very pleased to have over 28,000 alumni within the Metro Detroit region, having started in the last many years more than 1,200 businesses. And that makes a huge difference. Thank you.
Thank you, and I know you got to run. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Next, we're going to turn to the Chief Operating Officer of Contour Companies, David Debuque. Thank you, Steph. So, we saw some pictures earlier. I come over to Northland every couple of weeks, and there's a beehive of people working there. It's been 20 months since Contour took ownership of Northland, what's now Northland City Center. And what is your prediction for completion date of the first phase? There'll be a second phase.
So the first phase, thank you, by the way, and it's an honor to go after the doctor here. That's not an easy task, but thank you all. The first phase is a large phase. It consists of 2,000 apartments and over 100,000 square feet of first floor retail, including the existing mall structure. So we're in, like you said, 20 months. We probably have another 4 years to go on the overall phase, but we've started lots of progress and lots of development on phase 2 with the Costco Center, and it's a very exciting project for everybody here, so we're very excited about that.
Okay. And the police station, that's...
Yes, we're working hand in hand with the city police and the chief on a new facility, a new precinct, which will be close to 8,000 square feet, possibly a training center on site also. So it's again, a task that is a large one, but one that we know the city needs, that side of town needs, and we're very excited about it.
We've always had a downtown police station at Northland, so it will return. And this is a community benefit from Contour. We really appreciate it, appreciative of that. We are pleased that Contour is honoring the historic importance of Northland particularly keeping the names Northland and Hudson's. We're excited about the new incarnation of Hudson's as Hudson City Market. Tell us what's planned for the old Hudson store, and when do you estimate that we're all going to hang out at Hudson's again?
So Hudson's was the second largest department store at the time, and it's an honor to be able to keep that name with the Hudson family, and plus keeping Northland as the main name for our site. Our team, our engineers, our architects right now are planning a large-scale market inside the store. We also have a plan for a possible boutique hotel, which would have 100 keys and a location for venues. So these are the plans that we have right now that are very exciting for the Hudson's building and the adaptive reuse of it. It's a large structure. It's, like you said, a bunker. So keeping that and incorporating today's standards is the goal right now, and then we're going to process with more leasing and more excitement in the coming years.
And loft apartments there?
Yeah, so the existing structure, if many of you remember it, it has a large shaft on the roof, and we're going to convert that to loft-style apartments, penthouses.
The ceilings at Hudson store are 22 foot, so they'll make great spaces. Any idea when we return there?
I think within the next 24 months we'll have some activity on that site.
I mean, I can't wait. I don't know about all of you. It was always Hudson's. I've always lived in the Northland area, so I always walked there. Hudson's was my store. I know a lot of people who are my vintage feel the same way.
Well, the goal is also to bring some new life to the city and to that site as well. So that's one of our main goals, like everybody mentioned earlier.
So people are asking when we can expect to start shopping at Costco, and when will leasing begin at the new Northland City Center apartments?
So we've started to take applications on the commercial section. We anticipate having pre-leasing for the apartments this summer. And I don't want to speak for Costco, but I believe that their goal is to open before the year is over for the holiday season. So like you mentioned earlier, the construction is starting very soon here once weather breaks.
Do you care to share any of the leasing on the ground floor with us?
We have the typical mom and pop shops. We have a beauty school we're speaking to, different amenities for the tenants on site.
Okay. And finally, besides Northland, Contour is working on 3 other projects in Southfield. The Trowbridge Senior Apartments, the Adana, which I saw the picture of earlier, and of course McKinley Place. How are you keeping all of these projects going at once?
Not sleeping at night. We have a great team, family office, so my father and sisters work with us, and we have great architects, engineers, and staff that just work their tails off every day. So it's needed, and we're proud to be here.
Every time I go over to any of the projects, I never see any of David's workers sitting down.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I've never. And what do you have, 150 people working approximately here?
Yeah, throughout the city there's about 150.
Yeah, okay. Well, and that's good employment figures. All right, so thank you, Dave.
Thank you. Thank you.
We all have to be very serious about sustainability, and I wanted people to get to know Suzanne. She can be a little quiet, but she's providing a very, very important function for the city of Southfield. So I'm going to put you on the spot with this question. Where do you envision Southfield to be in 10 years in regards to implementing successful sustainability initiatives?
Yeah, so I think we're going to start with public education and forming partnerships, identifying deficiencies in the city, and ultimately putting all of that into a sustainability action plan. That action plan will really hold us accountable to benchmark our accomplishments. We don't want to forget what we've done, and set some really ambitious sustainability goals. And yeah, years after that's implemented, really focus on accomplishing a lot of these goals. through the partnerships and, grant applications, hopefully will help fund a lot of these projects. And then ultimately, I think 10 years down the line, I want Southfield to be the city that other communities want to emulate. So right now, we kind of look towards other cities for guidance and example projects. And in 10 years, I want us to be that, so they can say, look how far Southfield has come. We want to be just like them.
Okay. So, follow-up question to that. Michigan, what other Michigan municipalities have been able to demonstrate sustainability through in their communities?
Yeah, so there's many right now. So the first one that comes to mind is the city of Ann Arbor. They do everything right, so we should definitely look at what they're doing. And I know they're currently working on electrifying their entire city fleet, which is huge. So I definitely commend them on all their work. The city of Royal Oak adopted their Sustainability and Climate Action Plan just last year in conjunction with the city of, I believe it's Kalamazoo. They came up with their community sustainability plan. So a lot of these communities are realizing the importance of sustainability and really establishing goals and projects to be able to implement in the near future. And then also Ferndale has done some incredible things with their recycling initiatives. They came out with a lot of documentation regarding their greenhouse gas inventory and identifying where they're producing the most greenhouse gases, establishing goals on how to reduce those. So there's so many here in Michigan and across the nation that we can look to really help us move along.
Obviously, we can't do it alone. It's a big effort for our whole society. And final question, can you tell me more about what the average person I'm sure a number of people in the room are thinking is, what can the average person do to start living a more sustainable lifestyle?
Yeah, that's a great question. And anything I say is probably not going to sound new to you all. Recycle, try to find alternative ways to get to work, carpool, plant a tree, reduce the amount of plastics that you use. These are all things that have been ingrained in us for many years now. And it's really just about holding yourself accountable. So, for instance, I didn't even start recycling until late last year. I was thinking to myself, what kind of sustainability planner will I be if I don't recycle myself? I don't live in the city, but I actually bring my recycling to our Rossack facility on 8 Mile. So I bought a bunch of bins. I keep them in my garage. So I live in an apartment complex, so we don't have, curbside pickup. So because I work here, it's just so nice to just put those bins when they get full in my car, and then during my lunch hour, I'll drop them off at Rossack. So again, you have to hold yourself accountable, make sure that you are, doing these things on a regular basis, and eventually it becomes a habit. So.
Well, thank you very much, panel, and thank you all for attending. I think I turned this over